What's up guys, it's Sincerely Sierra and I'm back with another video. And in today's video we are going to have a discussion on racism. And I know that racism is a very controversial topic. That's just been, just an issue for the past couple of weeks. So I have Quentin here with me today, and the question is racism really an issue? What is your take on that, Quentin?
I think that racism definitely is an issue. I was just sitting here talking to Sierra, and we were talking about just different things that we could remember. And I could remember on the subject of racism going all the way back to like 4th grade. I had a friend of mine who was he was a white kid, and of course we're in 4th grade, so we're both very young. And he was my friend as far as I knew, and I was his friend. And I just remember one day he came home, or he came to school, and he made remarks about, he made racist remarks, and of course it was things that he had learned at home concerning black people and his how he should not be involved with black people and stuff like that. And so of course he didn't know how to properly respond to what he had heard, because of course he's still at school trying to play with me somewhat. And of course I didn't really know how to properly respond to it either, because we're in 4th grade, and I kind of really didn't know what to think about it. But I remember the uneasy feeling, and how when I did get home and I discussed it with some family members, and how upset they were. With that being said, I understand that racism is definitely an issue, and even as early as being in 4th grade, that's something that I had to deal with, and not to make myself a victim, because in my opinion, the other kid, which happened to be white, was actually a victim also of being trained or taught to judge somebody based on their complexion. And so that's definitely an issue, in my opinion. So what do you think? Have you ever had any instances where you feel like racism was an issue?
Yeah, I actually have. I remember this instance where I was working at this restaurant. I was the only black employee that was working there at the time, and I had a customer that was coming up, and you can just tell in his demeanor that at the time I never faced racism like that before, but he was having a conversation on the phone with someone, and he was giving his order, and I guess he expected for me to take his order or whatever while he was talking on the phone, and he didn't even acknowledge me. And so when he got ready to pull his money out, he just kind of tossed it. And at that moment, I rejected him, and I called for the next customer to come, because I just was not gonna tolerate the disrespect. And so there were also words that were exchanged as well. And so you can tell what's in a person's heart by what they say. And so he was so mad. He blew up, and I ended up getting my supervisor at the time, and she dealt with it. I felt she did a great job dealing with it. She actually escorted the guy off of the premises. And so I just think that it's important that we have to deal with these issues face to face. It is an issue. Racism is an issue, and some people are oblivious to it just because they don't have the experiences that us African Americans have. And so it's important to get an understanding, not to be closed-minded about it, and not to acknowledge it, because it's real. It's something that we face. And yeah, so that was my experience. So yeah, Quentin, I feel like we all have a responsibility when it comes to keeping racism from going to generation to generation. Like, we all have a responsibility. I know for myself, I don't want any of my children to have to experience some of these things that we're going through. But it'll be inevitable that they'll experience these things if we do not deal with this stuff face on. Like, it's not something that we should be silent about, you know, whether we have businesses or organizations or what have you. We have to be vocal about our stance in this thing. And so I personally just think that we should voice our opinions. We should protest. We should do things respectfully. We should have integrity when doing so.
Yeah, that's good.
And so that's just my take on that, Quentin. What do you think? What do you feel like is your responsibility?
I think that we are responsible for educating people that don't look like us. You know,
that's true.
And it's not only like a white and black thing. Of course, it's like all over the world. You have people that don't like another group of people because of issues in the past, or because of, you know, just bad blood. You know, we don't like this family because they've been across the street, you know, and they cut down a tree and it fell on our property, whatever. And we've never liked that family. But I think it's our responsibility to educate ourselves on what it means to really be in relationship with people. A relationship is all about understanding and fellowship between two individuals. And you can only really judge an individual based on your interaction with that person. And so I think that it's important for us to put the value of an individual back where it belongs, and that's on basically on their character and their personality, their interaction with you. That's what you judge a person based on. And I think that it's important for us to do that. I think one of the greatest things that we can also do is educate our children on how to properly judge an individual. You know, you judge them based on their actions. You judge them based on their truths. You know, based on what you know of them and what you learned of them one-on-one as you've interacted with them. And so I think that's the greatest tool against racism is just educating ourselves, you know, as we move on from the things of the past and going forward into the future.
That's good.
I know.
This is really good information, guys. I truly believe that racism is something that needs to be talked about. Everybody is so defensive. Everybody has their view on this, their view on that. And I think there just needs to be a time where people can get together and sit down and actually have a discussion or just have a talk about it without becoming so defensive, and just hearing each other's heart out about why you think this or why that. Because sometimes there just needs to be clarity on the matter. And so I just hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've enjoyed having this discussion with my hubby. I always love talking to him. He's a great man. He's a man of wisdom, and I wouldn't have it any other way being married to him.
One thing that you could do is let us know what your response is. What do you think your responsibility is as a human being in society today? What can you give, or what do you think should be done in order to help the generations to come to fight racism, to not have this as such a prominent issue in the times to come? So tell us in the comments what you think would be good and what your response to it would be.
So that's it, guys. we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we love you guys so much. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not a part of the family, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified for new and upcoming videos. We love you guys, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.